Hey, hi guys, welcome to StrikeX's fifth AMA. I'm Joe. I am the co-founder of StrikeX and CEO. For those that are new to the project anyway and don't know who I am, those of you that have stuck around from the beginning, thank you for holding. Thank you for your loyal support. Let me pass you over to the rest of my team for a brief introduction.
I'm Kish. I'm the co-founder.
Hi, and I'm Rob, and I'm the CTO.
So just a quick overview of today's AMA. If we're going to go with the community-led questions, there's a lot there that we can kind of talk about and give us a good update on the product's development, team development, a whole host of things. So yeah, thanks very much for posting those questions. Really great community engagement as ever. So yeah, let's hope you enjoy. I'll pass you over to Kish.
Cool. So the first question that we have is, what is the wallet's development cycle?
Okay. Well, all of the platforms are built using a similar methodology. Obviously, you start with conception and design and creating really a roadmap for what we want those solutions to deliver, and then look at how we break that out. So we start with what we believe is the minimum usable sort of product, minimum viable product, if you like, which is really what we term the sort of initial launch, and then move into an agile development and move beyond that. So we look to create a baseline, which is what we consider usable and carrying all the features. And then that goes into the development team. So to give you an idea, the wallet in particular has about 8 people allocated to it from a development perspective, with a project manager. And then we've broken that out into a number of milestones. So the actual original build of the wallet was completed around Christmas time. And since then, we have moved to the next stage of development, where we have had another 8 major milestones added, which will add additional functionality as we move forward. And I think, we work with sort of best practice models from a development cycle perspective. And once we have a platform in place that we believe is ready to go into testing, we do a round of internal testing, which will be with those sort of original contributors to the platform, to the project. And then we will move into a more I would say open, but it will be a closed beta. Obviously, it's a financial tool at the end of the day, so we do need to be very careful about how we test it and who we test it with. So there will be a closed beta coming up, which will be invitation only. And then we can run through that, how it works, check the stability, make sure everything functions properly, and does as expected under load. And then it will go into a public release. And once we're in a public release, we will then continue to work on the roadmap and the milestones, and continue to develop the product as it moves forward. And every iteration will have a testing phase. So it will have obviously an alpha and then a beta build. It will then have internal testing and QA, and then it will go out to a closed beta, and then it will be launched live.
Cool. So that leads on to the next question then. What is the current status of the wallet?
So we are at about milestone 3 out of 8 before launch. And that is the second phase of development. So obviously the first phase was completed, which was about, I think, 12 or 13 milestones. So they're all completed. The wallet itself works. It's an actual working platform. And then where we've got to is, as a team, looked at what we needed and what we wanted to launch as, and what features we wanted to add in there. So it's currently working. We're currently finalizing some of the back-end processes and additional API calls to make it look as pretty as Kish would like it. But yeah, we're getting there, and we're starting to do some testing now and putting stuff in place to sort of really get the final push done.
Trust Wallet currently has 33 blockchains integrated into their wallet. Do you think we will be able to match or surpass this number within the next year or two?
Well, we can certainly add as many as we like. The development cycle is for adding a blockchain to the wallet is quite quick in actuality. So it's, around about a week's time in actual development time, and then obviously it has to be tested and QA'd, etc. But it's not actually that big a thing to add from that development perspective. I think the question is, do we really want 33? Do we need them? Where do we want to put our focus? I think, we're trying to find a set of access, or if you like, a way of accessing the things that people want to access, and the more popular platforms to enable, retail investors to be able to move forward and invest in the markets they want. And I think just saying, oh, we're going to add all 33, I don't think there's a real drive for that for us. We certainly have, I think we've got 4 already. So by the time we go live, we should be in a position to, review and add others as we move forward. As I said, it's not a huge development cycle.
Cool. The next question, I guess you already answered, which is the open beta testing one. Was there anything in addition you wanted to add to that?
So I mean, we will be looking at creating a program, some form of, similar to Microsoft's Insider program or something along those lines, where people can become part of that test and build. I don't think, when we look at this kind of product, I'm not sure an open beta would ever be appropriate. I think we need to do this from a QA perspective, then into a closed beta and a sort of closed loop with genuine sort of feedback loops and reporting, and then when that's ready, go straight to launch.
Cool. So then that leads on to the question, when is the wallet going to be released? So we can't share a date yet, but development is going according to plan, as per Rob's highlighted here. But we're very much on track for it to go alongside the roadmap. Up until now, we've been quite inundated with workload, but we'll be making better use of socials and our newsletter with key updates. So make sure to sign up to both of those. The links are below. The next question is, will I have to make a new wallet to move to the StrikeX wallet?
Yeah, it's me, isn't it? See, I've got a nice easy one there. No, you can import your existing wallet. So whether you're using a Trust wallet, MetaMask, it's quite simple wallet using your seed phrase, but we'll give instructions of how to do that close to the time.
I do find that question come up quite often. I feel like we need to probably put out videos to how wallets actually work. So the next question is, how soon can we expect work to start on the browser extension of the wallet?
Well, that's actually in process. So as part of the build, we are putting together access for Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and obviously Android and iOS, part of those plans. What will be released on day one, I can't commit to right now, but we are expecting to release them fairly quickly after the initial launch of the Android and iOS platforms.
Okay, so another question on the wallet here. Can we see the wallet? Yes, basically. I'll pass you over to Kish now. He's going to give you the first glimpse of the functioning alpha build of the wallet.
Before we start, I want to make it clear that this is not the final app. This is a working alpha build whereby the correct functionality has been carved out, and we're now in the process of reworking the user interface to be more accessible. After our initial round of testing with the last version of the app, we found several areas that we could improve from a usability perspective, and we've spent the past few weeks implementing those changes, and this was alongside the cross-chain integration. You're going to see several instances throughout this app whereby data is not available or it's shown as loading, and this is because this version of the build is running in a sandbox environment, which basically means that certain API calls and data requests, they're just not available to execute. So what you're seeing here is our new introductory screens that highlight some key features, and this is primarily for the benefit of new users and people that may not be well versed with crypto wallets. These are currently static, but they're going to be animated and on automatic scroll on a loop for the final build. We'll also look at getting some more eye-catching 3D assets created that are a little bit more along the StrikeX branding. So if a user already has a wallet, then they have the option to dive straight into importing the seed phrase by typing into that large box in the middle of the screen. We're also working on adding a cool feature whereby if a user misspells a word, the dictionary is able to highlight that and the phrase will be popped up in red, so it's clear to the user that that's something that they need to fix before they can move on. If we head back and tap on the create a new wallet button, we're taken through to the onboarding process. This is a new screen that we've added to further educate new users as to exactly what they'll be seeing next and the importance of a recovery phrase, and that heads on to the next section. The user is given their list of phrases. They have the ability to refresh to an entirely new set, or they can simply copy these to their clipboard. Heading to the next screen, the user is prompted to highlight the correct phrases in the right order. As the user does this, the phrases light up in a teal color. And with the final build, we want these phrases to be able to group together so it's really easy for the person to see exactly which phrases are remaining. As soon as the user enters their phrase, they immediately get a well done messaging with the option to copy the phrase again if they need to. Then we head to the naming stage, hit enter and proceed. We've added an extra layer of protection to the app by enforcing a PIN. On top of this, we also provide the option of a biometric login. So I'm currently using a Pixel Pro and this only has a fingerprint scanner, which is why you don't see the face icon. Heading forwards, we're taken through to the congratulations screen, whereby the user is prompted to confirm that they've understood the importance of the recovery phrase, and they still have the opportunity to head back and grab the recovery phrase if they need to. Hitting the check enables the button underneath, and the user can move forward onto the actual app. So this is the dashboard. As you can see, there's a little bit of work that someone is doing, but it's getting there. A new user that lands on this screen will see a balance of 0, and they'll get a flatline chart, and there'll be some dummy numbers going up along the sides. They won't have any assets visible in their portfolio. This is just for internal testing. The user can hit the time frame button and select the other chart options. They can open up notifications to see anything that they might have missed during the day. And as a new user, they won't have any assets yet, so their stats, transactions, and watch list tabs will be empty, but they'd all be prompting the user to get started in performing some sort of action. Heading back to the main dashboard screen, if I hit the wallet icon, it brings up the wallet overview. If I hit the plus icon, I can go ahead and get started on creating a new wallet entirely, or I can hit import to pull through an existing wallet with my seed phrase. For this, I literally just type or paste in the seed phrase and hit the check mark icon. Name the wallet. Next. Imported. Opening the wallet overview screen, you can now see that the second wallet has also been imported. A major overhaul we've made to the app is the exchange section. We now have 3 distinct designs for buying, swapping, and transferring. We also have a quick shortcut to the user's transaction history. This buy and sell section will have a list of available assets that the user can buy and sell directly, and when they tap on an asset, they'll see the appropriate choices. Hitting buy, the user can immediately begin tapping in the amount that they want to purchase, and they'll get a calculation based on the market value of the asset at that moment in time, and they can proceed with their purchase. We've built a thorough receipt-style checkout process whereby the user will get a transactional breakdown of the asset that they're purchasing. And we've also built in options for additional payment gateways that we integrate in the future, as well as the payment methods that those gateways provide, which means that you'll have less issues when heading through the actual provider checkout. If we hit confirm, you can see the function backend of the Banxa integration is already in place. The swap section of the app is where the user will be able to swap between assets, and we've based this design style on the V2 of the DEX. The user can tap the asset and select exactly what they want from the available list, and they'll be able to see the existing balance at a glance, as well as quickly load in percentage values. Heading to the transfer screen, this is where the user will be able to send any asset that they have available to another wallet. And for that, they simply tap on an asset, input the amount, and follow the steps. In addition, we've also built in the capability for the users to store addresses in a very basic fashion. If I hit on this address book, you can see that it displays the wallet that the user already owns, as well as some saved options. This is just an example screen, but had I selected any of my other wallets, this would take me to a familiar checkout process whereby I can verify exactly how much I'm sending from which wallet and to which saved address, as well as the value at the time of the sending. The receive process is still being worked on, but the concept is still the same, except you have the option of a larger pool of assets to select from. Heading to the marketplace section, a user will be able to hit on an asset. If it's an asset that we've integrated into the app, then the user is shown a large trade button. The screen is currently being rebuilt from a UI perspective, but it will contain all of the key information that we initially wanted and more, such as the option to be able to see exactly how the asset is performing on other exchanges. If you notice at the top of the screen, we've also integrated some options for the user to set price alerts, add assets to the watch list. These options will follow the user down the screen, so they're always available at the tap of a button. We've also made it so that the trade button contains various options that will open up relevant pop-up window on the exchange. If a user taps on an asset that isn't available to trade on the app, then the user is given a replacement add to watch list button. And we've made it the appropriate color to ensure that there's no confusion between the two. You can see that I've hit the button and the favorite icon has turned purple, and we're heading back to the dashboard section so you can see that this asset is now safely in our watch list. Heading to the settings section of the app, user can hit the account name to bring up the wallet overview window. They can copy the wallet address directly, as well as open up the native BSC scan page in an external window. Tapping on native currency will load up the key default native currencies we've opted for, and in the future we'll be opening the app up to more options. There's an address book if you need to access it again. Tapping on the plus icon will bring up the add contact section, whereby you can input the username and address and save it. As Rob mentioned, we're making great progress, and every week we're inching closer to beta and getting the product out there so we can build on it, improve it, and get the world investing, with a tool that's tailored to us. Is there a plan for NFT integration?
Yes, I mean, that's something that we're currently working on with OpenSea, so Ethereum-based NFTs. It's a lot easier to build that into the wallet, the compatibility, because they do offer an API build, so people will be able to send, hold, and receive their NFTs in the wallet. We are also looking, obviously, we are cross-chain and compatible with Solana. So we are also looking at Solsea for the same compatibility. It's something that we are planning and we're working on. Whether both Solsea and OpenSea are compatible and available at launch, that's yet to be seen because it's a work in progress. But yeah, we are working on it. Next question, I'll ask to you, Kish. Will StrikeX wallet allow me to easily purchase crypto with my card without crazy KYC hurdles?
So the KYC is only needed to interact with the fiat on and off ramp, and it's not really a hurdle. It only takes a few minutes. But once you pass the KYC with the payment gateway provider, you can use the same details on other platforms. These payment gateways, they will integrate with other established platforms such as Trust Wallet, Binance or KuCoin, and so on. So completing KYC for that aspect of it is a benefit for you anyway. But beyond that, you can trade freely on the app and there will be no further hurdles, even jumping between chains. You'll be able to buy and swap without interruption.
This one's for you, Rob. How secure will it be? Are there any upgrades planned on this front?
That's good. So I mean, any financial product needs to have an inherent level of security. I think something we need to be aware of is security is a constantly moving set of goalposts, right? It's changing consistently, continually, and we will have a constant review, update, and team addressing security as we move forward. So it will be as secure as we can possibly make it. It's based on proven technologies. We are taking a proven platform, we're putting it into a secure environment, we're securing it with the tools that people would expect to be there, firewalls, IDS systems, platforms that enable us to track and monitor what's going on, how it's being used, how we secure it, DDoS protection. So there, we're doing everything we can, and providing as much security to the platform as we can. It will be reviewed and updated on as regular cadence with all of our platforms.
I think this one is for you, Kish. Will you be able to have multiple seed phrases open simultaneously? I don't even know what that means, but forget that.
So I think what that means is, like, I think they're asking is, can you jump from wallet to wallet without having to input everything back in? And if that is what they're asking, then I think the answer is yes. We've designed it so you can tap on the wallet icon, it brings up the wallet overview, and then you can jump in and out of the wallets that you want to jump in and out of with relative ease. I think that's what that user was asking.
Cool. Are we using that as your answer?
Yes, I think so. Do I need to pay a fee or subscription before I can access the wallet? Would there be a provision for users to interact?
No, there is no subscription for the wallet. It's a DeFi wallet, so people can use it anonymously and freely. The only time people will need to pay any sort of fee is if they, the gas fee, and also the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp. Aside from that, there's no fees, no subscription.
How does the withdrawal to fiat work?
So the withdrawal to fiat works the same as any other off-ramp provider. So if you're used to using providers such as Ramp, MoonPay, Simplex, Banksa, these are the gateway issuers that the industry use on the whole, and it's a third party we're using, and it works exactly the same. So that's all the questions really regarding the wallet. It's all going as per the roadmap. Development's going well. Very, very near that final push now to get it fully tested and out into your hands.
There are so many investors that just focus on the price of the token in the short-term period instead of the real technology and potential of the project. Can you tell us the motivation and benefits for investors of your project to become long-term?
Well, I think with this question, it's really down to the kind of the roadmap of what we're following. We are not a project that's an overnight success, a pump and dump. We're not reliant on our token price. We're reliant on products and our vision and our ever-growing ecosystem. That's where the value to holders, potentially long-term holders, that's where that value comes, is because we are not stopping at one product. We're not stopping at two products. We're not stopping at the first roadmap. We have a long-term vision for StrikeX. The main trading platform, TradeStrike, that's just the beginning. It's our first flagship product, but it's not the end of our vision. We have a second roadmap. I've touched on it before, phase 2, which kind of diversifies our ecosystem into a more longer term, sustainable development. And this, again, I've touched on it in Discord. I've spoken to some investors. It comes to no surprise when I say that our vision is to build our own network and to continue to build our own products, a whole host of different products within our network. People might say, well, why didn't you do that to start with? The reason for this is because the Binance Smart Chain was the place and is the place for small projects to gain traction, and the best of them rise to the top, and then it gives them that platform, it gives them that gravitas to then be able to go on and really do something special. And that's what we're at now. This is what we want to do. So yes, it's fully our intention to build our own network. We're not just saying that's what we're going to do. We're beginning to scope that now. We're putting a team in place capable of building that network. So people might say, what's the point in building our network? We're building TradeStrike already. Couldn't we just use that? Couldn't we just operate on Ethereum, Solana? Yes, we could if we were going to stop at TradeStrike. Our intention is to build our own network that we will then launch our own, relaunch StrikeX, the token, on that network. If that causes any panic with the future migration, it shouldn't do. Those of you who have been around have seen we've already hosted one successful migration from one coin to another. We can easily do it from our current StrikeX token on Binance Smart Chain to our own network. It's worth the effort, and it's worth us striving to achieve that. I've touched on it again. it's not just TradeStrike that we want to put on this network. We have scoped and began research and putting a team together to build other projects, other products on the network, such as a stock token bridge, which is obviously a key component to the TradeStrike platform. We don't want to have to use third parties when we can do it ourselves. So that is what the first product, aside from TradeStrike, that we will be focusing on. And that's to build our own stock token bridge. And that is essentially where we, as the platform, we can mint our own stock tokens, fully collateralize them with physical stocks, and offer them to sell and trade on our platform. There is only one company or one partnership in the world that I know is possible that is doing this at the moment, and we intend to be the second. The difference with us is we will be doing it on our own network, driving all traffic to our own network. So yeah, when it comes to that, we will be, very unique. So I really went off on a tangent then, but I kind of feel that we needed to, I feel like we need to give more to the community to really understand what we're doing behind the scenes. When we say, when it's been quiet on socials and we've not been given updates after updates, but or I might not be on Discord for a day or two, we're busy, we're constantly working to put these foundations in place to build the bigger ecosystem to then deliver more products and to continue to grow. And one thing I should say is that the StrikeX token will be and always will be the native currency of that network. And that's why you need to hold long term.
So then the next question is, what is your strategy for building a strong community?
Well, I think the strategy to grow in the community is the products. If you build products that people want to use and their market leaders, which we really believe that we have got and we're capable of delivering, and people will be able to see that with the wallet, that in itself develops a community, because you have the community of users using your products, and if they really like the wallet, they're going to be interested in seeing what the next product we put out. So that's aside from marketing, which is obviously something that we are building towards and we are working on. Marketing and products are the way that we will build a strong community.
Will the team grow with the wallet launch or after the TradeStrike launch?
The team's growing now. Just because you'll see the same familiar faces like me, Kish and Rob during the AMAs, it's not a reflection of who works for us and how big the team is. We are continuing to grow. As I was mentioning, with the broader vision and the foundations we're putting in place to make that possible, it depends on a broad team, a diverse team of different skills. So we are growing as a team. We have accounts, an HR department. We have we're beginning to bring a marketing team in-house. So it's something that we will constantly be growing. So it doesn't happen with the launch of a product. It's happening before and it's happening now.
So the next question is, how heavy will the team go on marketing upon wallet launch? So we've started taking marketing a lot more seriously now, and we brought on an interim director of marketing that will be building out our very own internal marketing team that will be able to grow with us in preparation for the main platform launch. And they've been putting together a marketing schedule that makes sense for a business and one that we'll be able to deliver on. The plan for the wallet is a two-stage campaign. So the wallet launch in itself to make it visible and to generate awareness. And then the conversion of the people that already are using a wallet, but perhaps they're not thinking about changing. So we'll have incentives to convert those on top of the actual benefits of the StrikeX wallet in itself, which are considerable. I don't see much of a problem in people switching over from whatever they're using to our wallet. What was the most fundamental lesson you learned since launch that will help the project become the industry leader it's meant to be?
I would say getting the right people in the right roles in the team. Trying to do everything yourself, as much as I'm a bit of a control freak and I like to be able to do as much as I can myself. It's not the way to sustain success in this industry. We need to rely on people that have the same vision as you and have the expertise to carry out the roadmap. So putting trust in a broader team, bringing more people in to deliver the roadmap is definitely the most fundamental thing I've learned.
So how do you plan to onboard the initial liquidity needed for your pools, and what benefits does a user get in providing liquidity?
I assume they're talking about the main trading platform, TradeStrike, and the liquidity perhaps for the tokenized stocks. This is something I know initially we'll have to find the right liquidity partner for. Obviously, because I mean at this early stage, and post-launch, we're not going to have the funds in the bank to provide millions and millions of dollars of Tesla stock, Apple stock, and just have them sat there in liquidity. We will be using liquidity providers. In terms of all benefits will be given to people that want to provide liquidity, that will be very much the same as our staking. People want to stake or farm and provide liquidity, they can earn rewards. In what shape or form that is, that will be. We've not announced that. We've not agreed on it. We've not decided upon it, but there will be a reward program in place.
Can you share some teasers or info about aims and products that aren't on the roadmap?
Well, I think I've given kind of a bit more of an insight than I even originally expected I would do, but kind of talking about the stock token bridge. I'll go back to the stock token bridge. That stock token bridge is not on a roadmap. It's something, again, our roadmap constantly evolves as we grow, as we learn more about the market. People got to understand this market is very new. The industry is very new. We're always learning. We're always kind of pushing the boundaries of what we can do ourselves. And that stock token bridge is something that we feel that we can do ourselves with the right conditions. It's something that we want to do ourselves. So that's something that's not on the roadmap that we intend to do. And it's something that will be absolutely huge.
How do you plan to legalize the tokenization of stocks that cannot normally be traded out of hours?
So I think this question kind of needs to be broken down into two. One, tokenization is not illegal in essence. It's to do with compliance. It's how we intend to provide compliance stock tokens, and that is depending on the licenses that we acquire. So providing and using the relevant licenses for the stocks that we are tokenizing allows us to do it legally. So that's kind of the first question. Out of hours trading, essentially, once the market shuts, you can continue to trade peer-to-peer, which is completely, which is straightforward. There's a lot of other assets, so you can trade peer-to-peer. The difference is with stock tokens, you need to kind of provide that liquidity after hours because, that kind of stock token bridge to the external stock exchange. Obviously, that stock exchange is shut. So rather than just kind of filling up an order book overnight, like I said, you can trade peer-to-peer, or you can basically trade off of liquidity pools that people have staked or farmed their stock tokens to provide that boosted liquidity. Don't get me wrong, liquidity will always be lower out of hours because volume's lower. There's less demand. It's just part and parcel of out of hours trading. However, it is still possible with tokenization to trade out of hours. And that's why peer-to-peer comes in. And that's why, stock token farming comes in.
According to the roadmap, what are your most important priorities? Does your team have enough funds and strong community to achieve those milestones?
So our priority now is finalizing, testing, and launching the wallet. In terms of funding, we have, and I'm sure we've mentioned this in a previous AMA, we are funded enough to complete our current roadmap. That's where we're at. So the wallets, the V2 DEX, and the trading platform is funded. So that will come out regardless. That's funded, it's in development.
How is the development of the main TradeStrike platform progressing? Still on schedule for release Q4 this year?
Okay, this is something that, a question that we've been dodging for a while because, like I said, our focus usually is on the next thing on the roadmap. But, our flagship product is TradeStrike, and we have kept this from the public so we could concentrate on our other things. But I think now is the time to really give an update on TradeStrike. TradeStrike as the main platform has been in development since August last year. We set out to build a trading platform. We started developing that trading platform since August last year. So we've hit plenty milestones with that development. We've kind of just kept it going, development along in the background, continuing to improve, continuing to hit those milestones. In terms of where we're at right now with the TradeStrike platform, so I'll pass you over to Rob to give you a little bit more detail, of where we're at with the overall TradeStrike build.
Okay, so as Joe said, I mean, we have a dedicated team working on the platform. We haven't been announcing, publicly where it is and where it's going, but where we are is that the front end is towards 50% complete. So the designs are done, the mock-ups and creation of the interface, that's all completed, and it's really now how you tie that to the back end. So we're working through that program of tying the front end graphics into the back end APIs, so that we can view them and work on them. The back end itself, again, it's around about the 60% complete mark from a milestone perspective. It's the engine that provides the scale out, that provides all of the base function is there and working, and a lot of it is how we collate and present data now, and how that visibility looks. And we're expecting the first sort of version of alpha to come into the team and be usable as an application rather than individual functions around about the end of March. So yeah, we're on target for our Q4 release, and yeah, it's looking good. I'm really pleased with the progress.
I'm sure, as we get closer to that alpha build, I'm sure people will be really looking forward to seeing Kish's designs for the platform, because they're not to kind of give them too much of a big head, but yeah, they're awesome. So I'm looking forward to being able to share the updates with you guys.
When are you going to list StrikeX on Binance? On Binance or KuCoin?
When it's viable to do so, when it's worthwhile. Right now, we could pay, $1 million to go and list on a top tier exchange. Unless you've got the volume to make it worth your while, it's not worth doing. It's down to priorities. We are not a token that's just a token for the sake of being a token. We don't need, the bells and whistles of a Binance listing to give us worth. We've got our products that will give us our value. And when those products come out and when we grow as a community and grow as a project, that's when we will be listing on top tier exchanges. As well as releasing our own top tier exchange.
Could we get an update on the FCA license?
Obviously, we need to be compliant and work in the right ways with the FCA. We need to make sure that we are working towards working within those guidelines and frameworks, and whether we are delivering via our own licenses or working with other people's as umbrellas, we'll be doing that as we move forward, but we'll make sure that we're working within those compliance and financial frameworks to ensure that we're working in the right way for people.
Cool. Well, I think that's everything, guys. That's all the questions covered. So I really hope you all enjoyed our 5th AMA. I know there was quite a lot there, but new stuff included that I'm sure you guys will have further questions about. We will be giving updates on all of those things touched on in the future. But in terms of development of the wallet, that's the most immediate thing that we will be posting more about. So stay tuned for that, and as we move into testing and finally launch.
Cool. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.